Oh, yeah, well, hey, everybody, how you doing?
Welcome to another episode of
Your favorite Aunties podcast. No, keep on. Keep on.
I mean, we had to get started.
Right.
You know, you got to run on time, baby.
You
we got
running a
things
tight
to
ship.
do. We got things to do.
Mm-hmm. That's how you was the day of the show.
You got to honor people's time.
This is right. This is
Amen.
right. This is right. Do you think that's the feminine side of you doing
It's part of being a lady.
Oh, being a lady. What is it? Well, I guess that's what we're getting into today.
We don't have no announcements?
The show was awesome. Shout out to Houston.
What about your birthday?
And my birthday was good. I had fun. I was outside. Well, can I do that?
Well, I did it already. So
it was my birthday. I could do what I want. I had an amazing time. I feel like every year the people around me just show me how much they love me, care about me, and appreciate me. And I am very thankful to those who are in my life, those who genuinely, those who genuinely just like want to be around me and celebrate me and stuff like that. It feels really good to be in a place in my life where I know the people who are in my life genuinely want to be there.
Yes, Lord.
It feels really, really good because it wasn't the case at certain points of my life.
Ain't everybody's story.
Hello?
That's good.
Some people just, were around me to be around me. And realize they could have kicked rocks. It would have been, I would have probably cried. But you could have kicked some rocks though. But you could have went and touched grass. But say la. Say la. But I really do want to say thank you to you all who showed me some birthday love. I really, really, really appreciated it. And my birthday weekend was amazing.
Perfecto. Well, we can start talking about femininity. We actually had a couple of questions around just like, I guess, I don't want to say how to be feminine because I feel like that's like a weird way to put it. But just like, I guess, finding your confidence, being confident who you are as a woman and like standing in that. To me, that's more so femininity than like the actions. Like you could put on a dress, you could put on some heels, you could put on some makeup. That does not make you feminine to me.
Right.
To me, it's like an air of how you carry yourself and standing in your the power of your womanhood.
Right.
That's femininity to me.
Because you can put lipstick on a pig, don't make it a lady.
Hello?
Huh? Yeah, I don't want to talk back.
So how do you define femininity?
I define femininity as soft strength. Because there's a strength that you have to be soft.
That is very true.
Knowing that you could really throw your weight around in a room, but you just choose not to because you don't have to. I could show you why I'm here, but I'd rather you just see why I'm here. So for me, femininity is peace also. Like I really feel like when you're walking in who you are, especially as a woman, there's a peace to you.
That's good. That's really good.
Like,
our counterparts, they notice that as well.
Yeah.
I've been told a lot of times, like, oh, you just have a peace about you. Like, you're very peaceful.
Right.
And yeah.
And yet they disrupt it.
Because you don't feel the need to be chaotic to get attention.
Because you don't have to.
Because you don't have to.
I was talking to someone and I had to share with them, I don't have to gain the attention of the room. I'm going to have the attention of the room. Just because my presence in there, you're going to feel it. And it's not because I'm being boisterous. It's not because I'm being, just all out there. It's who I am. There's a light that's on the inside of me. There's an essence, a je ne sais quoi, that I have that is going to bring attention to me. And it doesn't have anything to do with makeup. It doesn't have anything to do with a dress. It doesn't have anything to do with my hair. It has everything to do with my spirit.
That's good. That's good. So when you think about femininity, and it's something that I've been seeing recently, or just in the last couple of weeks, there was a clip about a certain celebrity who's very vocal, and a lot of people are in opposition to certain women, right? And there was a clip of these guys talking about how educated this young lady, how articulate she is. And then one of the men was like, and is she single? Because that's probably why. She probably can't find nobody on her level. And if she's like that, then she probably leads with that. And then it was just all this stuff. And I'm just like, man, being a woman in 2024 and just being able to stand in who you are and what you've accomplished is in direct opposition to being in a relationship, to being loved, to being deserving of somebody loving you unconditionally.
Right.
It's just crazy, the things and the criteria and the guidelines and just the different things that society puts on us, that our male counterparts put on us, just for standing in who we are and being confident in who we are. It's like this double-edged sword, because it's like, on one hand, they tell you that this is what they like. They want this confident woman. They want this. They want that. They don't want you to be no gold digger. On the other side, you accomplish these things, and then they tell you that's why you're single.
Right. And it's like, what do you want? It's like, you want me to be a trophy. But if I'm a trophy, that means I'm an accomplishment. That means I bring value to you, or I show your value. Why would you want me to be less than when I'm showing your value? My thing is, I believe that a man's greatest flex or his greatest work is how his woman is. You know, if his woman is taken care of, like, he is doing a great job as a man. Because imagine, like, the relationship that you're in. When you feel confident, when you feel like this, when you feel like that, it's like, it makes your man feel good. You're a representation of him.
Absolutely.
So when I get to step outside and I'm, in my element and I'm doing my thing, like, it just shows, no, my man is taking care of me. And it's so hard to be in that place when it seems like it seems like some people are opposing you. It's like, what do you expect me to do?
Baby, I don't know.
And I want to accomplish these things, but it does seem like the more that I accomplish, it seems like the dating pool gets smaller and smaller
More
and smaller.
undesirable.
Right. And it's like, you want me to be successful to a certain point, and my success doesn't challenge yours. That's the thing. I don't share anything that I've done in the face of a man to show him up. It's like, no, this is what I got going on.
Right.
This is what you can say to your other male counterparts. Like, well, no, my woman does X, Y, and Z. My woman is successful. Da 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 da. This is what I've also helped her accomplish since we've been together. So she was already doing this. Now she's doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and you would think that that's something that a man wants to say. And for some, that is the case. And it's so beautiful. Shout out to those men. Like, I love to see it.
Yeah.
But on the other side, it's like, dang, like, do you want me to not do anything?
No, because I know I was definitely a part of, in my upbringing, just getting pushed to, like, get your education. You want to have your bomb career, girl. You want to have your own money, have your own stuff, have your own place. And then focus on that so much, and then get to the point where it's like, all right, got all of this. I am ready for love. Yeah. And then being like, no. Actually, no.
Or when they see the things that you've accomplished, it almost feels like, oh no, I'm gonna have to put in too much work. And it's like, yes, there is work that's necessary to be with me, but the reward is great.
Yeah.
Like, baby, for what you gonna put in, you gonna get something out.
Yeah.
Huh?
What I hate is you're intimidating. Baby, that thing there. I hate it.
But the thing is, you're not even doing anything.
Just being you.
I'm literally not even leading with that.
Living my best life.
And somehow that challenges you. I don't understand.
I don't understand it either.
I just need somebody to make it make sense. Because I'm not, like you said, we're not throwing it in anybody's face or anything like that. You know what I got going on because you see it.
Yeah.
But that's not what I'm with you for. But I think that a lot of men are used to women being with them for who they are. I mean, for what they can give them instead of who they are as men.
Yes. So when it's like, oh, no, I just want to get to know you for who you are. Right. It's like, no.
And you know what? I think it's so much easier for some men to hide behind their possessions, because that means that they don't have to show up as themselves because they don't know who they are.
Very true.
And because of women like us, we're able to look past what you have because we have it as well. Now we get down to the character of who you are as a man. And because your character is shot, it's harder for you to show up as a counterfeit.
That's good. That's good. I think it's a lot. And something that I've been seeing lately on like TikTok and stuff is like this 4B movement. Something that started like overseas, but is making its way here. And it's crazy because I remember I was talking to my therapist.
Shout out to her.
And we were just talking about like my overall happiness, my joy, what I want in life. And something that she posed to me was like, I absolutely believe God with you that you're going to get married and you're going to have a family, all that. Totally believe God with you. And also, if that doesn't happen, will you still find fulfillment in life? Will you still find joy? Will you be happy? And so it started us off on this journey of just discussing if it's possible for someone who desires marriage to actually, what I call, decentralize marriage, especially as believers, because as much as people want to say that it's not, marriage is definitely like a core belief and like a central standard in our religion.
Right.
Like a lot of stuff is behind I don't want to say the paywall, but the wall of marriage, right? You know what I mean? And I feel like sometimes singleness is kind of looked at as this like aside, like, oh, if you're single, then you should want to get married.
Right.
If you're single, then yes, you're whole and complete in Christ, but also there's some essence of your life that is not complete yet, that is missing, that is, you know what I mean? And so it's like, how can we encourage people to be single, happy, but also desire marriage? And then also just understanding the culture and the things we're in. Yes, we absolutely believe God, but if it doesn't happen, still finding the fulfillment and the joy somehow in another way.
I think that though it may be incredibly challenging, it's possible, but I do feel like there will always be an element of you that will be dissatisfied, not being able to fulfill that side. Because companionship is incredibly important. If God didn't want companionship, there would be no point to have all of us here today. He would have been just fine with Adam. He saw fit that though they had a great relationship, they walked together, he was able to have 24/7 communion with him. The first covenant. He was able to have that with him, but he saw fit to let him have a woman by his side. And if companionship was important to God then, it's important to him now. So acting like companionship in marriage is not important, I think it's a crock. Like, I don't think that people should say that it's not as big of a deal as it is. And I would love for you to say that being by yourself for 40 and 50 years. Because it's not, if being by yourself was so amazing, why would people use solitary confinement as a punishment? It does something to you when you don't have time to spend with someone.
Yeah.
Like, it really can affect you.
Human connection.
So to say that marriage shouldn't be as important as it is, I don't think that they're really considering all the beautiful things that come along with the covenant of marriage. And then even in our faith, there are certain favors, principles, and covenants and different things that come along with being married. And it's also another side of God. Like, there's only so many sides that you'll get to knowing God without being in that covenant, because you get to see certain things in it when you really do become one with somebody else. And there's certain things that God can reveal to you as a person when you become one. So to say that you can live your life without ever knowing that side of God, come on.
I mean, and I totally understand, but it's just like, how do we reconcile that with the state that we're in as far as dating and marriage? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a whole movement of women saying, look, forget all of that. Like, I don't want to be dissatisfied. I don't want to be unhappy, nor do I want to settle or deal with some stuff I don't need to deal with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so prevalent that it's like more and more women are literally choosing, hey, I want it to be married. I want companionship. But if it means letting go of my happiness, my peace, having to deal with somebody's shenanigans, I'm willing to lay it aside.
Okay. That's a beautiful thing. That's so cool. And I know I'm always the one to bring it there, but it just is what it is. What are y'all doing at night? Huh? The church is quiet.
You don't need marriage for that. Now, within our religion, you do.
Okay.
But everybody ain't saved.
But what's crazy to me is the people in our faith will sit up here and be like, oh, don't make it an idol, don't make it this, don't make it that. Y'all, some of us are still keeping ourselves. And we could go another way and just, okay, fine. What if I don't get married? Okay, cool. I'm going to still itch this scratch this itch. But it's like, no, I'm not supposed to do that. Do you genuinely expect for the rest of our lives for us to keep ourselves? I mean, Truly.
Yeah.
And I know that some people are like, yes, that is the expectation. Okay, cool. So what happens when somebody falls short? Now what?
Because they absolutely are.
And even if they...
No, I don't think that people really consider that aspect when they talk about marriage and singleness and dating and stuff, when they're just like, oh, just be content and just wait. And it's like people are waiting longer and longer and longer and longer, but then also feeling condemned for being active. And so it's like, baby, we got to find a solution because we burning the stick at both ends.
Yeah.
You can't tell me wait and wait and wait and wait. And then also expect me to be abstinent for years and years and years. Like, we were created in a certain way with certain urges and feelings that are not wrong.
Right.
They were inbuilt.
Right.
You got hormone levels. You got this. You got that. We're burning it at both ends, and people are tired.
But nobody is genuinely talking about that aspect of it.
Yeah.
And I feel like it is so important for us on this platform to give voice to those who feel like nobody sees them. Because I know that you and I were having a conversation about what we were going to talk about today. And I was like, okay, we need to talk about this element and da-da-da-da. And you were like, nah, friend, it's just, we the last two that's still doing this. And baby, that thing took me, didn't it? I said, well, friend, because I was like, nobody's talking about this, and we need to da-da-da-da. She was like, we're the last ones. Nobody else is doing this but us. So that's why it's this big of a deal. And it's like, well, when you put it,
because it's a large part of your life when it's a large part of your life. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, listen, I said it on another episode, and I meant it. I said it with my whole chest. Listen, I am in the prime of my life to get my jiggy on. What they say, to body rock knock the boots, baby. My hormones are raging.
Yeah.
And it's like, I am genuinely doing what I got to do to hold on to God's unchanging hand.
Yeah.
My hands is getting slippery. Huh? Like, come on. Like, I mean, I am never going to encourage anybody to fornicate. Like, that's not anything that I'm saying. But I just want people to be realistic, especially the people who have never held themselves before. Or the people who, oh, well, me and my husband abstained for 2 months before we got married. Baby, talk to me when you got some years under your belt. Talk to me when you're 10 or 15 years into your abstinence journey. Or then people be like, oh, keep up the good work or keep fighting. Stay strong. No. No. Like, this is not the goal. Abstinence is not the goal. Abstinence is a prerequisite to just you learning how to control yourself. I was talking to somebody the other day, and we were talking about the fact that, I'm abstaining or what have you. I'm practicing self-control now to have self-control in my marriage. Because, okay, yeah, when I finally get to have sex with my husband, it's going to be great. That's going to be wonderful. But I'm also teaching myself to keep myself so that I won't fall into temptation and be with somebody else. Because abstinence isn't just for, oh, I'm just holding myself and my husband or my wife. It's just you showing that you have self-control, because self-control doesn't stop once you get married, because now you fight outside temptation. And nobody talks about that either. Like, there's a lot of different elements as to why people are abstaining, or why they should abstain, or why I see God called us to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it just makes it difficult, because if we go back to what we were talking about before, as women, a lot of times we're pushed in that direction of, get your education, get your job, like focus. You don't need all of that. I remember like literally hearing like, you need to be able to take care of yourself. You want to be dependent on no man. I don't want no scrub. Come on.
A scrub is a guy who thinks he's fly, and he's also known as a buster.
Huh?
Okay, you know what?
You come on.
Yeah.
We grew up on that.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to have your own.
Yeah.
But then I feel like a lot of us put so much into that, or let me speak for myself, put so much into that by the time it's like you're looking up at in your late 20s, like, all right, I got all my degrees, bought my house, financially stable, I'm doing found my purpose, I'm working, I'm working, I'm doing all the things. You look up past 25, like, okay, I've accomplished all the stuff y'all told me to accomplish.
Right.
But then also at the same time, the men are getting a whole different narrative. Baby, do your thing.
Yeah, 21.
It's your thing. Do what you want to do.
All right.
And so it's hard to find a match when you're getting two different narratives.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, let's stay right there, because a lot of us were in the purity culture movement, And our male counterparts were not. They weren't being told to not spread their loin to and fro. Huh? We were being told to keep ourselves. They were being told, do your thing. Or not told anything at all, which is why a lot of them are like, who even taught y'all this? Who said this? Who said that?
Totally unaware.
Oblivious.
And then get married. And I heard somebody talk about this on Instagram. Get married to the girl who doesn't have as much experience because she was in purity culture, expecting her to be like the girls that you were with while we were in purity culture, trying to keep ourselves. And it does. And now even in marriage. Incompatibility, unable to talk through things because two completely different narratives.
Because when you think about, us keeping ourselves or whatever like that, when we get into our marriage, listen, I'm trying to send something spicy to my man. You know what I mean? I'm trying to send a text. I'm trying to send a little pic. I'm trying to send a little video. You know what I mean? But then when I really think about it, I'm like, what am I going to realistically say? Like, I don't have all this experience to be like, oh, yeah, like that? Like, talk dirty to me. Oh, the laundry. Yeah, the dishes in the sink. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know that a lot of other women know how to do that kind of stuff, or they've been in touch with their sensual side a lot faster or a lot sooner than some of us. And it's not to say that I'm not going to get there. Baby, I want to swing from the chandelier just like you want me to, but let me work up to it. Like, we could do this.
What if she doesn't want to do that? Because I feel like, I feel like sometimes you come out of a lot of suppression very conservative. Everybody's not in that space where they're just ready. You come out after suppress. For a lot of people, it don't just flip on. Or it may not cut on because you don't know anything other than suppression.
Yeah, okay.
So if you're not having the conversations, if you're not in therapy or whatever, seeking out help, you don't even know that you're struggling in this area. You don't even know that you're supposed to be having conversations with your partner about this and about that. You don't know that stuff because all you know is, okay, well, I wasn't supposed to. Now I signed the paper, got the ring. I can now.
Yeah.
But what?
Yeah. Or then, you finally get in that realm and now you're intimidated. I remember when we kind of first started talking about purity culture and we talked about sex and how some of us were weird and, how some of us are working out. And they were like, I'm having a hard time having sex with my husband and I'm years in. Or I don't feel as confident because he's the only man that I know.
Being comfortable with your body.
Right. Because, some people ain't never been naked around no man. And it's like, now you looking at me or like you trying to touch on some? Hold on.
I feel like a large part, because to me, femininity is largely just like this self-confidence. And again, the way that you carry yourself. And a lot of that is knowing yourself.
Right.
But a lot of purity culture is like separating yourself from yourself.
Right.
It's like, no, your feelings and the urges and hey, that's bad. Or you need to be humble. You don't need to be like, so much of it is suppressing what you need in order to have that level of confidence.
Yeah.
So again, it's like we're working against ourselves then also expecting certain things. It's just a lot of opposition.
It is. And then it's like, you don't want to be mad at God, but it was like, now, Lord, you saw me sitting in all them conferences.
Hello.
You saw me buying all them books. And now I'm left to be like, okay, excuse me? How'd I miss the bus? Like, I didn't even know y'all was born right now. Like, where was I?
The society now is just so different. I still sometimes will see something on Instagram or TikTok and be like, oh, blush a little bit. Like, wait, y'all?
Yeah.
Okay. And then y'all just talking about it.
Freely.
On social media. Oh, okay. It's a lot for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm coming from, baby,
Mm-hmm.
It's even, for me, I was super saved.
Yeah.
And then I was saved when I was young. So there's like a whole section of just like music and stuff that I don't know.
Yeah.
Because if it was around sex or talking about, I wasn't active.
Yeah.
So then I thought it was wrong to listen to those things.
Right.
So I'm like, baby, I don't know it. I don't know.
I don't know nothing about that lifestyle.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I don't know, man. It's a lot that I feel like has worked against us in being like that feminine, confident, sexy woman. And there's so much that you have to come into the knowledge of in order to bring that part of yourself out.
Because we're often told to cover ourselves and not just out. And it's even outside of our clothing.
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
cover yourself in your humanity. It's like, no, baby, I don't.
Stay right there.
I got to learn how to be me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning how to be me in Christ, but I'm also learning how to be me in self.
Mm-hmm. And how you present yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because I know that you and I talked about even body images in the beginning, and how there was a time when I tell you I threw away all my tight clothes and I forgot I had a little body yada yada on me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, snap. Until I started putting on a couple body cons and I was like, oh, baby, okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Like you forget, or you don't even know. You're not even aware of all of what you bring.
Again, because we're taught to separate ourselves from ourselves. And it's a different, I know people talk about like the flesh and like that's, I feel like people used flesh and body synonymously when it wasn't.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
So coming back into connection with your body.
Yeah.
And who, like your body parts and how it moves and your shape and just all of the, even like your feelings, your urges and stuff, connecting with that. I know when it first happened for me, it was like, okay, this is wrong.
Yeah.
This ain't right. No.
Yeah.
And no, it's not.
No. And you know what? I want to be very clear when we say this. When we talk about flesh and body, because a lot of women don't know their body, it's hard for you to even tell your doctors what's going on with you because you're so out of touch.
Mm-hmm.
And I've said it before, and I want you all to hear me for what I'm saying. Even when you go to the gynecologist, how can you tell them that something is out of order when you don't even know what you look like down there? You've never seen your vagina.
What it's supposed to be like.
You don't even know what that thing looking like. What is it? Well, how long does this happen?
What's supposed to smell like?
Hello? Because you are
is
so
this supposed to be coming out of me?
Now, it's okay if it's this time of month. It's not okay if it's that time of month.
Come on. Check the colors.
Hello?
Come on.
Hello? Does it look like you finna make some bread? What bacteria is healthy? What do you mean a pH balance?
Huh?
What you mean is off?
Baby,
what you mean is on?
Come on.
Now the blood was this color red. Now it was crimson this time, and the other day it was raw. Like we don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And because we don't know, so many women are misdiagnosed because they can't even tell their doctors what's happening inside their body.
Mm-hmm.
And that's wrong.
It is wrong.
It's wrong.
Your face, yes.
No, because my feelings are hurt.
Oh, Fred.
Because I just feel bad because there's a body of people. I'm not about to cry.
No, what?
No, I'm literally about to cry because it's just like, you get so disconnected from who you are.
Yes.
And then when you finally get some type of knowledge of who you are, you feel like there's so much time lost.
Come on.
I feel different parts of me were lost because I was just so disconnected. And it's all that I was taught.
Yeah.
And I feel like, why was I so impressionable? But the whole time I just wanted to please God.
That's right. That's right.
And it's not that I wasn't seeking God. And it's not that he couldn't have told me. It's just, you didn't, Lord. Or at least I didn't know that's what you were saying. So now that I know, I'm in my early mid 30s.
Come on, early mid.
I'm in my early mid 30s and I feel like I'm finally somewhat kind of sort of a little bit getting a grip on life and getting a grip on my femininity.
Knowing yourself.
When I could have had it this whole time.
I really feel like we had to go through it so that we could have these conversations because nobody talks about how disconnected you become. Like I was just so disconnected from my body.
Right.
Like I didn't know what was going on with it. I didn't know what this was supposed to be, what it's supposed to look. I really honestly, like we joke a little bit, but I honestly didn't know. I didn't know what a pH balance was. I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Because everything concerning my body, I related to flesh.
Especially the lower half, honey.
Huh? And so any urge, any feeling, okay, that's wrong. Okay, that's wrong.
Hello?
Like people literally telling you, if you feel the urges, you need to go fast.
Right. You need to pray.
Okay, so when I do all of that as a single person, because this is what gets me about people, is like suddenly when you sign this piece of paper and put a ring on, what you were feeling before is now not wrong. How?
Right.
It is the same feeling. Now I just have somebody to express it with.
Right.
So how is what I was feeling before wrong? It's not wrong in and of itself.
Right.
But when we don't make those clarifications and we don't give those details, we literally teach people to separate themselves from their body.
And it's so wrong.
And it's wrong.
When we could just teach people properly the first time. And I think a lot of times us being comfortable in talking about body and not encouraging flesh activities, they think if you talk about your body, you're going to go into your flesh. And
that's right.
The two are not synonymous.
Yeah.
They don't
They
walk
think
together.
The more ignorant you are, you won't indulge.
No, whole time. When you're ignorant of things, it puts you in stupid situations. That's why a lot of these people came up pregnant, because they didn't know what happens during sex, because ain't nobody talking about it. And the only way they're going to know is if they so happen to be in a sex ed class in high school, or just so happen to, I remember, maybe that's why I be halfway on kids. I had a little baby in home ec. I think it was like a home ec class. Baby, they had us take that thing home for a couple days.
We didn't do that.
Girl, first of all, I was at a store. That thing started crying. I think I slammed it down on the t-shirt. And it was so funny because we were in a what's that place called? Paxson, not Hollister, Paxson. What else is it? Aeropostale. We were we were in the Aeropostale store, and that baby started crying and it just wouldn't stop. I remember slamming it on the t-shirts, and it's like the whole store stopped, turned around and looked at me. And I was like, it's a fake baby, y'all. It's fake. It's for school. But I'm just like, you trying to give me a consequence where I don't even know how I would even get the consequence.
Baby, come on.
It's like you teaching me, you gave me the end of the thing. Huh? You gave me the end of it. And I don't even know the beginning.
Come on, I know the consequences of God more than I know the goodness of God.
Okay, now that's an episode right there. I know more consequences than I know goodness.
Come on, what are his promises? Because I know I'm going to hell. I know it. I know I'm going to hell.
And I'm like, if you going to hell, double hell for me. I know more about his wrath than I do know his goodness.
Love.
Hello? You know they say. You know they say that's the difference between this church and this church. They sing about his goodness.
His goodness and his love, and his grace, his kindness.
God just saved me. You're so awesome.
Come on.
Sky Papa. Sky Daddy. You're so good. And all we hearing is 99 and a half.
Come on, I'm coming up.
On the rough side. Why is it the rough side?
I don't want to be on the rough side. I don't want to be there on the smooth side. Are there stairs?
Is there an elevator?
Friend, we got to go because we started to cut up now.
For real? Oh, no, we are. Okay. All right.
That was good.
No, this was good to me.
Yeah,
and I feel like
help.
We just scratched the surface.
Not scratched.
I feel like this is what we did.
We did. It's a lot in there. It's a lot in there.
We got to come back.
We're going to come back. We're going to come back next week.
I need 3 parts.
Okay. 1, 2, and 3.
Huh?
Next season. Oh, this was good, friend. This was good. We got to go, though. We got to go.
I guess.
Well, so, y'all. I mean, I can do it sometimes, too.
You're right. You were so right.
Join us next week on another episode of
Your Favorite Aunties Podcast. Bye.